Hello everyone, hope you're keeping well. Today's a bit more of a serious video. It's a bit of an important video as far as I'm concerned. It's one of the things that I didn't understand, I didn't get to grips with, and I certainly didn't really appreciate until I was sort of well into my recovery. And I know I've made a few more sort of commentary style videos recently, but if you are looking to quit gambling, if you are thinking about quitting gambling, or if you're concerned that you may actually have a problem with gambling, this might be the one video that's worth persevering to the end with, even if you don't normally watch my videos all the way through, and I completely understand that I do have a tendency to waffle. But this is something that I think is very important, and hopefully my negative experiences, my bad life experiences, and the scars I've got to show for it can hopefully help you in some small way in your own life and in your own recovery. And what I want to talk about today is why, when you're quitting gambling, or when you're in the midst of a gambling problem, you need to disregard money. You need to forget about money. You need to forget about the financial side of things. Now, it sounds incredibly counterintuitive, doesn't it? But what the crux of this, the essence of this, is that gambling itself is not a financial problem. Gambling will certainly cause your financial problems. And if you're watching this video now, you might be thinking, but you know, I've been gambling this month, and you know, what is it now, the 10th or whatever, and I'm skint. I'm skint for the rest of the month. You know, I've not got any food in the cupboards. I've got bills I need to pay, and I can't afford to do it because I'm gambling. So what are you waffling on about? You know, of course, this is a financial problem. You know, it's the reason that I can't pay my rent this month. So let's put it this way: and like I say, I'm not preaching. Trust me, I've been there. If I gave you the money, or I paid your bills for the rest of the month, the ones that haven't been paid yet, I gave you some money to put some food in the cupboard for yourself for the rest of the month to tide you over, or I went and did your shopping, and so you're all set up for the month, okay? You've got no cash in your hand, but everything you need for the rest of the month is sorted. Brilliant. Okay, that's fixed that financial issue, hasn't it? But has it fixed the problem? No, of course it's not fixed the problem, because come the end of the month, I would have got paid again, or you'll get paid again, and the urges will still be there. The gambling is still there. You'll go out, you'll gamble, and you'll find yourself very quickly back in the same situation. Okay, so it's a repetitive cycle of losses, and so yeah, that still sounds a little bit, doesn't it, like a financial issue? Okay, so let's just scale this up. Say, right, okay, I'm going to now earn some more money, or I'm going to somehow get some more money. I'm going to cash in some investments. I'm going to get some money out of my savings, if any of us are actually lucky enough to have savings. The same will happen again. Maybe it will last that little bit longer, but I doubt it, because you'll just up your stakes, won't you? Because you'll be searching for a bigger win. But the same will happen again, and the money will go, and you'll go back to the start again, and the cycle will continue. It's not a financial issue. It doesn't matter how much you earn, because the more you earn, the more you'll gamble. I used to have a friend, and I quoted him in a previous video. I say I used to have a friend, he's still my friend, who always used to say, when he used to go out and he used to have a big loss on the fruit machines, or you know, in the arcades or whatever, he used to say, "Oh, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if I was earning more money. It wouldn't matter if I was Bill Gates. It wouldn't matter if I was a famous footballer." And sometimes he even quoted me. And bear in mind that I wasn't earning substantially more than him at the time, just a little bit more. But because I earned more money, he thought, well, if I was earning what he actually said to me, if I was earning what you were earning, it wouldn't be a problem. I could afford to do this. Completely disregarding the fact that no, he couldn't, because you know, this was halfway through the month and he was already skint. If he was earning that bit more money, he'd probably still already be skint, but even if he kept that extra bit, it would be gone within a few days. So if that focus is on the financial losses, then maybe you're barking up the wrong tree. I certainly was. I thought it was because I wasn't earning enough. It wasn't because I was earning enough. That wasn't the problem. It's only when I addressed the actual problem that I realised that the money was just literally just a consequence. Focusing on money when it comes to gambling in so many ways can be incredibly harmful. And if we sort of extend this out a little bit, if we look about how we feel when we lose a lot of money, this plays on our mind, doesn't it? It's a horrible burden. It's a horrible weight. And to say don't think about the money, I appreciate it's completely futile, because when you have a big loss, apart from that, the other effects are the fact that you're probably late home, or you know, you've just got that knot in your stomach and you're angry and you're wound up because of you've probably been off what you perceive to be a horrible run of bad luck, which could actually just have been the fact that you've lost money over time. But you've had this big loss and you had that knot in your stomach and you feel horrible. But what happens is that you focus on the loss. You think about the loss, and that is incredibly dangerous, because it can lead obviously, to chasing the loss. And actually, that's the first thing you want to do, isn't it? You want to get that money back when you've had a big loss. So even then, even if you could afford that loss, that money isn't the issue. So I went out today, and I can't go out today. No one can go anywhere, can they? But if I could go out today, and I went out and I lost £100, okay, in something, whatever, I could afford, realistically, yeah, big flex, I know, I could afford to lose £100 and it wouldn't have an impact on my life. My rent would still get paid, my bills would still get paid, I still have food in the cupboard, and I still have enough money to get me through to the end of the month. But if I lost that £100, I'd probably want to try and get that back. I'd probably want to try and win that back somehow, because that's the gambler's mentality. We have an idea that all the money we lose somehow ends up in a little pot with our name on it. And this is certainly how I felt. Not obviously physically. I didn't realise there was like a baked bean can with a big P on it that had all my losses in it. I didn't think like that. But I think subconsciously I had a thought that, there was somewhere this hypothetical, metaphorical, metaphysical, mythical, that's a lot of long words, pot of my losses that I've been contributing to year after year after year through all my gambling losses, be them on fruit machines, FOBTs, online, on bookies, whatever. I had this idea that somehow there was this, reserve of money that I've been paying into that I felt that I was earned a slice of. I was earned a proportion of this money that I'd lost over these years because, well, it was my money, but it's not. It's not a pay now, get back later scheme, is it? You need to realise that money it's gone. It's history. It's in the pocket of someone else, and it's probably been spent on a Range Rover or something by bookmaking by now. It's one of those things. Another thing that you can probably all remember, or what's the word? I can't remember what the word is now. But you can all appreciate is I used to think of things that I wanted to buy, things that I thought were unaffordable. Say there was a jacket, a new coat that I wanted to buy, and it was £100. Okay, and I couldn't really afford that. I've looked at my bank statement, and I'm like, no, I haven't got that money to spare this month. Then you go out and you go and lose £100. And you berate yourself and you think, I could have bought that. I could have bought that thing. I couldn't afford it. I knew I couldn't afford it, so I couldn't afford to lose the money. But then again, what you want to do, you want to try and fix it, don't you? You want to try and get that money back so you can buy that thing. You want to basically rewind the clock. And gambling doesn't work like that. You can't rewind before a loss. And it's very unhelpful to sort of get wrapped up in that. The crux of the matter is, really, and the lesson I think that I learned eventually, and hopefully you guys will learn before I did, is that gambling is the problem. Gambling is the issue. Finance is it's a symptom. The money is a symptom of gambling. If you address the gambling problem, if you can stop yourself from gambling, day by day by day, however you choose to do it, however you choose your recovery, and everyone's recovery is different. If you can do that and you can stick with it, then I promise you 100% from someone who's been in a really bad financial situation, okay, hand on heart, the finances will sort themselves. Money will actually stop being at the epicenter of your mind all the time. It's a very gambler thing to have your mind focused on money and balances and how much cash you've got and how much you've got available to you at all times. I know, I've been there. But once you start fixing the gambling, and the money can just take care of itself. Yes, of course, it still goes out, and you might not have loads of spare money, and you still probably have debts to pay and things like that. But it will fix itself in due course. And, so like I say, fix the gambling, the money will fix itself. And the reason the money will fix itself is twofold. Obviously, you're not losing any. That's obvious. But also, there'll be other benefits you'll notice. I noticed that when I a little way into my recovery, I was working harder at work. I was more focused at work. That led to a pay rise. That led to me getting more commission. Obviously, that depends how your employment works. But I was working harder. That was being noticed, and I was actually getting more back from work, both financially and in terms of job satisfaction. It also freed up a load of time. It's amazing how much time you can spend thinking about and actively gambling. And suddenly you have all this free time, and you can use this, if you want, to pursue other things. You can use this to pursue, I'd say a business, but side hustles, whatever you want to do, even a little extra part-time job, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do that and you want to just use it to focus on yourself and on going to the gym or reading or doing whatever, that's great. But I used it a little bit, and I won't say it was to run my own business, it was to run a few little side hustles to bring me in a bit of extra passive income. And I didn't have that time before because I was using it gambling. And also, add to that time, that extra free time, a better mindset. You'll be in better mental health. You'll be in a better place mentally. You know what it's like. You have a big loss gambling, all you want to do is go and curl up on the sofa and sleep, or you want to have a drink, or you want to just go and slob out and eat junk food or play computer games or do something that's counterproductive. Now, those things are all fun, don't get me wrong, but they will suck all the positivity, they will suck all your motivation out of you. And again, it's all down to gambling. If you can stop gambling, you will find that your mindset fixes, everything fixes itself. It doesn't require your active input to fix these things. So it's just, once you quit gambling, you get a clearer head, and you can start to make progress in all those areas of your life which you think are actually the problem, but realistically gambling is the problem and these are symptoms. I'll leave you with one example or one alternative way of looking at it. If you are overweight, but you're going to the pub every day and drinking 12 pints of lager, going to the gym, running, going on a strict calorie-controlled diet is not going to address your weight problem. The only way you can address your weight problem is to address your alcohol problem. So if you can do everything you want, you can make extra money, you can do everything you want to try and address what you believe to be a financial problem. But if you're not addressing that root cause of what's making you skint in the first place, then you'll always be skint. In the same way that alcoholic drinking 12 pints of lager a day can try and exercise and diet and all the rest of it, but they're still drinking the alcohol, they're still drinking 12 pints of lager a day. The weight is just an outward sign of the problem within, in the same way that having an empty wallet is just a physical manifestation of a gambling issue. I've rambled, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you made it to the end. Like I say, I think this is quite an important video. I know I've talked a lot about various things recently, but I want to sort of talk a bit more about actual recovery and stuff now. So I appreciate you watching, guys. Have a good day, and I'll take it easy, and I'll see you soon.